many things I like it. I know that there are things that I can do better, but yeah, make a fantastic first half, one of the best since many months. And problem is in Premier League, you can score the second and the third. Always can happen that they push more, and yeah, we are there, and especially our game is better and better and better.
You've scored a dozen goals now this season. I'm wondering where I need to put my money, Harry Kane or Erling Haaland for the European Golden Boot. Could be a few others involved, but you're both off to a good start.
Don't forget Kylian as well. He had a great start as well. So they're doing amazing. So I need to try to keep up.
I felt second half we were a better team. I think when you look at the 90 minutes, one team scored a very good chance that they had. We didn't take ours. In the second half we grew in confidence, and I felt we made it the type of game that we wanted it to be.
That one big chance that they had when Igor Thiago is away, as a centre forward, you're one-on-one with Donnarumma. Is it a little bit different from being one-on-one with somebody else?
Yeah, it's definitely, and he's so big, and he's the best keeper in the world. He just got the trophy at the Ballon d'Or, so knowing that you're against the biggest keeper in the world is of course motivation, but it's also a more difficult task.
The world. It wasn't necessarily a brilliant performance from him. There wasn't that much required from him in this game today. But does he bring a presence to Manchester City in goal?
Yeah, I think he does. We've just looked at Erling Haaland, and you look at him in front of goal now, and he's just got that aura. He looks like he's going to score. I think Donnarumma started so well for Manchester City, and as Erling touched on there, he's definitely got that aura through one-on-one with Igor Thiago here. As soon as Gvardiol, who barely put a foot wrong today, by the way, went through, he gave it up. I just thought, there's no way he's scoring. There's no way he's getting that out of his feet and getting it past him. Now, a really important message here for any defenders back at home is Nico O'Reilly. He could quite easily give that up, trot back, but no, he's going to put the pressure on. He's going to heap all the pressure on Igor Thiago. Running through with Donnarumma, as Erling said, massive person to beat. Now, this is the moment. He's readjusted. This is the moment he knows he's got him. He just can't quite get it under control, can't get out of his feet. He's got that pressure from O'Reilly coming behind him. And as we roll it on here, he knows he's only got two options, and those options are to go round to Donnarumma's right as O'Reilly cuts off his left, or to dink it over him. And he just needs to press the gap, get to the gap, get up to him, stand big and strong. There it is, can't get round him. Looks like a relatively simple save in the end.
Is that because of Donnarumma's standards that it looks like a simple save? Does he make it a simple save?
Well, I think so. Like I say, he smelt blood when Thiago couldn't quite get it under control. So calm, look at his face, there's no rush, there's no grimace. I know exactly what I need to do, stand big and strong, move on. One save, 1-0, up the road.
So he has the aura in goal. Erling Haaland has the aura up front for Manchester City. Farming aura points in terms of... I'm sorry, I've lost you on that one. Yeah. It's a modern reference. But he's got the aura up front for Manchester City. The form that he's in this season... Only 2 times has someone been in better form at the start of the season, and both times it was Erling Haaland. So he's only been beaten by himself. So with him in this form, how big a title challenge do Manchester City mount?
Well, I think I and many others felt after season's difficulties last season that they wouldn't be in the title race. If he's playing with this hunger and he stays this fit, he puts them back in it, even if they are a bit easier to play against, because he is unplayable at times when he's got this determination. He's so strong, but then he finds this calmness when he's in those positions. He's got great feet. He gets the ball into really perfect positions for him to finish. And sometimes you see when he's up against really good quality that they can't cope with that physical presence. He's got to keep getting him the ball. But at this rate, I mean, he's going to hit ridiculous numbers again. And isn't it amazing? I mean, he's got a bit to do to match his own numbers, so it just shows you where he's at. I think he's playing... He looks as rounded as he ever has in a match. When I say rounded, I mean all aspects of his game. The link-up, the reliability, the goals, the running power. He's just a sight to behold at the moment.
And the other person around him who's hitting all kinds of unprecedented numbers is Pep Guardiola. We get used to him and we get used to the standards that he's set. But he's reached 250 Premier League wins in 349 games, which is faster than any other Premier League manager.
Yeah, look at these numbers. Look at the speed that he's done it. You know, look at the company he's in. Sir Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger, David Moyes. And do you know what? With those 250 PL wins, he's got 6 titles as well. Absolutely incredible.
Incredible from him, as always.
Welcome back to Extra Time. If you were watching Super Sunday, you would have seen Erling Haaland at it again, scoring the only goal of the game to see Manchester City beat Brentford and move within 3 points of the leaders, Arsenal. There was an old cricket story, Jamie.
Here we go.
Never wake up Brian Lara when he comes out to bat. If it looks like he's dozing, don't sledge him.
Yeah.
Because if you do, you've got a problem. Is it the same story for Erling Haaland?
It's probably something similar when I was a player with Drogba. Don't wind them up. But listen, Haaland gets the only goal of the game. I mean, listen, what a start this lad has made to this season. And it almost feels like, because City didn't have a great season, we've almost forgot about him a little bit. And you're talking about other players around Europe when the Ballon d'Or comes up for grabs, of course. But I actually think Manchester City and Erling Haaland should score this goal more often. They should look for him more often in those situations, because he should be scoring 5 or 6 of them a season. But we just see the initial coming together. And I want to talk about my own experience here. So we see Sepp van der Berg here. We just see the two of them now in this sort of coming together. Right, it's a fight. Now, I'll never forget Keith Blunt, who was a coach of mine at the FA National School when I was a centre forward, would you believe? And I remember him pulling me one day, and I was trying to get involved with centre backs and holding the ball up. And he just pulled me on my own. He said, stop fighting with people who are stronger than you. And it's something that's always stuck in my head. You've got to be cleverer than them. So he's got involved with Haaland. Now he wants to show his strength. So have a look at Sepp van der Berg now. Look where his head is now. He's looking over his left shoulder. Where is Erling Haaland? Don't worry about where Haaland is. Get in that space before Erling Haaland. So get over there. Don't worry about him. It doesn't matter. I've been in this position as a centre-back. Get into the space, because that's where Erling Haaland wants to run. But he's looking over his shoulder because he wants to show, I can have a fight with him. I'm stronger than him. Look, he's waiting. What are you waiting for? You're going to get beat in the fight. He's too powerful for you. He's too strong. Very, very naive defending from the young defender, and something he has to learn going forward. Brilliant from Haaland, outstanding. And I've said he should score that goal, and Manchester City should more often. But that is a big lesson for that lad as a young defender.
And he did say in his interview afterwards that he was being pushed in those first 5 minutes. So he decided, well, if he wants a fight, I'll give him a fight. And this is this extraordinary start to the season continuing. 18 goals for club and country. I mean, he's already broken records, Jamie. I mean, what can he actually achieve?
He can achieve whatever he wants, and he will break every record I think we've got in this country about goal scoring if he stays here for the length of his contract. I think he's got another 89 years left. But when I was watching him today and the start he's made to this season and the impact he's made in the Premier League, and I think we're watching the greatest goal scorer to ever play in English football. I obviously cannot remember, Jimmy Greaves and Dixie Dean and all these players from years ago, but I think if Gary Lineker's, Alan Shearer's, Harry Kane's, Ian Rush's, for my club Liverpool, some of the great strikers or goal scorers, I would say. There's a difference for me between a great centre-forward or striker or a goal scorer. I think what we're witnessing now, I think it is something we've never seen before in our game. And don't forget, this is a club who the goal scorer beforehand was Sergio Aguero, one of the greatest we've ever seen. This is on a completely different level to Aguero. He's the best.
Look at the bigger picture, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's been a really good start, especially at home. And they beat Aston Villa, Manchester United, point against Chelsea, 7 points. He'll be looking to improve the away form. That'll be something they'll try to do. They did that at the back end of last season. And I think he'll be delighted with it. It's not been easy for him. He doesn't want to allude to it, but I think he's done a really good job. And the moments today, certainly second half, as I mentioned, Thiago, he scores that. Everything can change. And it's tough. You're playing against one of the best sides in world football, and you've got to chase the ball, you've got to find a bit of rhythm in the game. And they never quite got to grips in the first half, but second half there was a vast improvement. So he'll be looking at that thinking that's the next step we've got to make, get the away form sorted. But I think so far, it's been a really good start for Keith Andrews.
Don't you think he's done ever so well as well when you lose Vissa and Mbeumo? You take them, the goals that they've got at the team. I think
and
he's
the
doing...
captain, Norgard.
Yeah, but I think he's doing a really intelligent job in what he can get out of the players. I said last week and he wanted to go a little bit more direct. Couldn't quite do that in the first half. Second half, there was a little bit more energy. Henderson started getting on the ball a little bit more. And he could only manage what he's got at his disposal at this time. And I think for a manager who's coming into it, who was formerly a set-piece coach, to come in as a head coach, I think he's doing a good job.
The Thiago chance was pivotal, wasn't it? And he just couldn't get it out of his feet, really.
No, it was the ball was never his friend for 1 second here. You know, and then last week he scored a great goal against Manchester United, but he's fighting with it all the way. It's never comfortable. It's never really where he wants it. You can see it here. It's really good movement. He gets up, gets a little bit of luck. Now you're thinking, right, compose yourself, get a good touch on it. He has a little look over his right shoulder, which I think causes him a bit of a problem. Then he forgets about the ball. But there was no set where he wants it. It's bob 1 foot. Then he gets there just in time, but Don's so big. You know, he's a big guy as it is. And that was a really, really important save, Micah.
Yeah, it was. And I mentioned Donnarumma, I think, for getting him for £26 million. It's a steal. Yes, he might be on big wages or whatever it may be, but that could be the difference between City challenging and not challenging.
That's the difference, isn't it? When somebody that big comes out and spreads themselves, it's going to be very difficult to get round it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, winning the Champions League with PSG, I was scratching my head how he was even available. The manager had already made his decision. Sometimes that happens in football, and I feel a little bit sorry for the goalkeeper Man City just bought Trafford, because he's amazing talent. He will be a top goalkeeper. Now he's having to play second fiddle at this moment in time. But I totally understand why Man City took the decision to buy him, because the size of him, his shot-stopping ability, comes for crosses. Yes, he's not Edison on the ball, but he's good enough on the ball for what Man City want to do.
What? And he's also a winner, isn't he? You've
Correct.
brought in a goalkeeper who is a winner.
Yeah, absolutely. There was obviously this narrative that he's not very good with his feet. I'm like, well, but he can stop the ball going in the net. I think that is important. And you can see, and I've watched PSG this last few years, as we all have, and they've been one of the best sides I've seen in a long time, almost reminiscent of what Barcelona were years ago. So the goalkeeper is obviously vitally important, especially to Pep's teams over the years, but it doesn't make all the difference all the time. And PSG have proven it. And you can look at what he's going to bring this season, and there'll be there'll be dozens of moments like that. There'll be so many when he just gets you those 3 points at the right time, because you need that. You need that quality, and he is one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
How did Brentford, I know they didn't win, but how did they get back in that second half, i.e. to create the odd problem for Manchester City? Because they stuck to the same formation, didn't they? And we thought they might change it at the break.
Yeah, I thought they would. I felt at half-time you might have maybe sacrificed one of the centre-backs, so maybe gone to a 4-3-3 and just bring on one of the forwards and give yourself a bit more energy in midfield. He didn't. He stuck with it. They changed from a 5 to a 4 defensively at times, but what they did was two things. One, I think Manchester City got a bit complacent. I think they stopped playing as well. That's something that was so easy from in the first half. And then second half, they just stepped up the pitch. I was watching Keith Andrews from the box, and he was just imploring his team to get up, get closer to people, then make those gaps a bit tighter. Because I think in the first half, they showed them too much respect. Then they start to win second balls. All of a sudden, then you start to get throw-ins. Then you get your corners. Then Jordan Henderson played a couple of fantastic, delicious balls into the box, but no one quite read it. One of those moments goes your way, it's completely different. But I think that's a lot to do with good management as well from Keith. He realised what we had to do. We had to raise the energy, a good team talk. That can be the difference.